and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Alright guys, I am once again with Honda's 2012 ST1300 project. In the subsequent weeks since I purchased this motorcycle, I have been going through it from front to back. As I looked over the bike and noticed parts that needed to be replaced or hardware that was either missing or non-factory hardware, I have made quite the list of parts that I needed to order for this bike. I've also ordered a new set of tires for the machine, as well as front brake pads. Since I'm also going to be doing a comprehensive service on the bike, I ordered an air filter for the bike, as well as an oil filter, and I plan to inspect and or change all of the fluids on the motorcycle as I go through it. One of the nice features of the ST1300 is it has a very comprehensive full fairing on the bike. While that's nice on cold days or on long trips or out on the highway, one of the things that it means is I need to remove a lot of the plastics on the bike before I can actually go in and service the different systems on the machine. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing today, is actually stripping the bike down and taking off a lot of the plastics. I'll take off the saddlebags. This bike, honestly, as much as people complain about it, it's certainly not the worst fully faired motorcycle I've ever worked on as far as removing the panels. As you take off the fairings, you definitely want to make sure you know where everything goes and how it goes back together, because there are quite a few of these small fasteners and there are many different fasteners that hold the bike together. Later this week, I'll put the new tires on the bike as well, and I'm hoping that I get the entire bike serviced and ready to go by the end of the week. But we'll see. Some things may pop up that are unforeseen, or some jobs may take longer than I anticipate. I apologize for the additional background noise on this video. I have a corn harvester that is harvesting behind the shop here today, and so it's adding a little bit of extra noise. If you like great motorcycle related content and you want to help support this channel, please consider becoming a member. Depending on the level of membership, members get early access to new videos as well as bonus content on this channel. Your support is much appreciated, and it will help me to continue to make great quality motorcycle videos for you to enjoy. And I just want to say thank you to all of my current members and subscribers, and those of you who contribute in the comment section on this channel. Thank you guys so much. I could not do this without you. All right guys, without further ado, it is time to get to work. Let's get into it. right, now that the bodywork is off of the bike, it makes all of my service jobs much easier. I have access to all of the brake lines on the bike. This motorcycle has a flip-up fuel tank and a prop rod under the seat, so I'll be able to prop the fuel tank up and actually check the air filter and replace that. Looking at the air filter that was in the bike, it actually looks brand new. This must have been recently installed, so I will continue to use this, and I'll set aside my new air filter for a later project. The coolant overflow reservoir is on the left side of the bike, and with the bike on its center stand, the coolant level is exactly at the full level. I also know that the coolant in the bike was recently changed, so that's one less thing that I have to do. Since the clutch fluid in the bike was very gross looking, I cleaned out the master cylinder, and then I proceeded to bleed out the clutch. Again, this is much easier to do with the fairings off the bike. With the new clutch fluid in the entire system, it looks much better through the sight glass. Looking at the brake fluid on the bike, although the brake fluid levels were okay in both the front and rear brake master cylinder reservoirs, the fluid itself was dark and discolored. That's a clear indication that the brake fluid should be changed out. Due to the fact that this bike has linked brakes, that is a very long and complicated process. Thankfully, I did have the OEM shop manual for the bike, and so I was able to go through step by step and bleed the brakes according to the manual. And to my fellow ST1300 owners, also operated the secondary master cylinder during this process to clean out any old brake fluid that was in that. But I'm thankful to be able to say that I got that process completely finished, and that gives me peace of mind when I'm out on the open road. Continuing on with the brakes, I had noticed early on that there was some grease on my front brake rotors that had contaminated the old pads. You can see them, they're the lower pads in the photo. Unfortunately, the replacement pads that I got, even though they're listed for the 2012 model, did not fit this bike, and so I had to order new brake pads, and I'm currently waiting on those to install on the bike. In this picture, you can see some of the grease that contaminated the brake rotors and brake pads on the front of the bike. There were just globs of grease all around the axle on the bike, and I think somebody overdid it with the grease the last time they installed tires. While I was in there and waiting on new pads, I went ahead and cleaned all of the exposed brake pistons. Then I made sure that each piston pushed back easily into the brake caliper. As soon as the new brake pads come, I'm ready to install them. As of filming this video, I have the new tires mounted on the wheels and ready to go back on the bike. I'll try to get to that later today. I decided to give the Shinko Verge Sport Touring tires a try. I've used Shinko tires on other bikes with good success, and we'll see how these perform. Hopefully, they're a cost-effective tire for the ST1300s, since the ST1300s are very hard on tires. While I had the other fairings off of the bike, I thought it was a good opportunity to remove the front fairing and do a little bit of plastic repair. I had one push pin tab that had broken off, and so I was able to repair that. And I also replaced the black plastic cover that goes just underneath the windshield at this time. As I continue to make progress on this project, I'll keep you guys informed. And as I said earlier, hopefully by the end of this week, I will have this bike completely serviced and ready to go and safe to be out on the road. So I'm really looking forward to that. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. And until next time, enjoy the ride.